Ladies and gentlemen, I speak to you today not merely to instruct, but to awaken, not to entertain, but to demand of your spirit a discipline so profound that it will transform your life from one of passive reaction to one of commanding influence over all that you encounter. Understand this. The world, with all its temptations, distractions, and chaotic noise, does not hand success freely to the indecisive or the emotionally enslaved. The currency of achievement is neither time, nor luck, nor circumstance. It is mastery over the self, the unfaltering dominion of the mind over the turbulent seas of emotion. Consider for a moment the vast majority of men and women who wander through life, chained by the invisible fetters of their own feelings, allowing anger, fear, desire, and doubt to dictate every decision. They are slaves to reaction, pawns in the chess game of circumstance. They do not command their destiny, they beg it for scraps. And yet, there exists a hidden frequency, a principle of wealth and accomplishment so profound that when mastered, it renders all obstacles insignificant. It is the frequency of mental detachment, of disciplined thought, of inner sovereignty. To activate it is to step into a realm where scarcity and failure become illusions, and abundance and success are not possibilities, but inevitabilities. Let me define for you the first law, the law of mental neutrality. Neutrality does not imply indifference, nor does it signify weakness. It signifies mastery. It is the ability to observe the world without surrendering the mind to its chaotic pulls. To allow circumstance, insult, or misfortune to disturb your internal equilibrium is to forfeit your power. A man who is neutral is not reactive, he is deliberate. He acts with purpose, guided by clarity rather than distraction. Every emotional eruption is a surrender of authority. Every uncontrolled impulse is a relinquishment of potential. By mastering neutrality, you reclaim sovereignty over your inner world. Now, consider the power of calmness. Calmness is not the absence of conflict. It is the presence of command. A calm mind sees truth, where panic sees threat. It calculates when others falter. It creates opportunities when others perceive only obstacles. Let me remind you, if you allow emotions to govern your actions, you forfeit your power. But if you command your thoughts, you command your future. Calmness is the crucible in which strategic thought is forged. It is the silent engine behind every monumental achievement. We now advance to the principle of thought first. Every fortune, every empire, every life of influence begins with a single thought, deliberately conceived, nurtured, and directed toward a definite purpose. Thought precedes action. Thought dictates circumstance. Thought is the frequency of creation itself. But heed this warning. Uncontrolled thought is as dangerous as a cannon without a target. When your thoughts are scattered, you scatter your destiny. When your mind is disciplined, when your focus is unwavering, the universe conspires to transform your mental design into tangible reality. Observe, too, the distinction between response and reaction. The undisciplined man reacts, he is a leaf in the wind of circumstance. The master responds, he is a sculptor shaping reality with intention. When insulted, he does not rage. When opposed, he does not falter. When threatened, he does not panic. He responds, guided by reason, by principle, by the foresight that only a trained mind can provide. Every response is an opportunity to fortify power. Every reaction is a concession to weakness. To understand this is to understand why so many capable men fail while so few rise to greatness. Equally important is the cultivation of definiteness of purpose. Without a central aim, without a crystal clear objective, emotional detachment becomes impossible, discipline becomes fragmented, and thought becomes a wandering soldier with no command. Define your purpose with precision. Let it be your beacon in the storm, your compass when the path is obscured, your reason for mastering yourself. For those who wander without purpose, no wealth, no influence, no victory is attainable. But for the man or woman with purpose, every challenge becomes a teacher, every obstacle a stepping stone, every moment a spark toward the fulfillment of destiny. And now, let me speak of autosuggestion, the conscious, repeated feeding of the mind with commands aligned with your objective. The mind, like fertile soil, grows that which is planted within it. Feed it fear, and fear grows. Feed it doubt, and doubt dominates. Feed it discipline, clarity, and vision, and it becomes a factory of solutions, innovation, and unshakable resolve. The disciplined mind, guided by autosuggestion, becomes a magnet for opportunity, a vessel for wealth, and an instrument of mastery over circumstance. But mastery over thought and emotion alone is not sufficient. It must be joined by action, decisive, relentless, intelligent action. Knowledge unexecuted is a phantom. Discipline unapplied is impotent. Your mind may conceive the plan, your soul may fuel the desire, but it is only action that converts vision into victory. And action, when unclouded by emotional turbulence, becomes unstoppable. Now, grasp this final truth. Emotional detachment is not disengagement from life. It is engagement with life from a position of authority. Detachment allows clarity. Detachment allows courage. Detachment allows decisions made not in the heat of fear or desire, but in the cool, calculating fires of purpose. By mastering detachment, you do not merely survive adversity, you bend it to your design. You do not merely navigate complexity, you command it. You do not merely dream, you achieve, unchallenged and unstoppable. The path before you is clear, but the journey demands rigor, courage, and unwavering attention. Begin now to command your thoughts, regulate your emotions, and focus your mental energy on the singular objective that defines your life. Cultivate calmness, embrace neutrality, act with precision, and let purpose drive every decision. Wealth, influence, and extraordinary achievement are not granted, they are earned by those willing to master themselves, to become the architects of their inner world before commanding the outer world. Rise, then, to your destiny. Activate the hidden money frequency, not through wishful thinking, not through fleeting inspiration, but through disciplined thought, deliberate action, and complete emotional mastery. The universe responds, not to emotion, not to chaos, but to clarity, purpose, and unwavering initiative. You have the power, you have the principles, you have the capacity. Now is the time to act, to master, to conquer. Let no distraction, no fear, no temptation divert you. Command your mind, and the world will follow. Success, influence, wealth, and fulfillment are your rightful inheritance, but only if you seize them through the mastery of self. Consider for a moment the history of men who have transformed the world, not through mere circumstance, but through absolute mastery of themselves. Did Andrew Carnegie achieve his fortune because steel was abundant? Number? He achieved it because his mind was disciplined, his emotions controlled, and his purpose definite. He acted with unwavering focus, while others panicked at market shifts, surrendered to envy, or indulged fleeting desires. Carnegie understood that emotional detachment was not the absence of ambition, but the presence of power. He did not allow criticism, failure, or temporary loss to dictate his next move. He maintained control of his inner world, and thus he commanded the outer world. Let us speak now of the principle of resilience through detachment. Life will assault you with adversity. Opportunities will seem to vanish. People will betray trust. Fortune will appear capricious. And in these moments, the undisciplined mind collapses. But the disciplined mind, the mind trained in the art of detachment, observes adversity as it is an obstacle to be analyzed, not a torment to be endured. It sees each challenge as a lesson, each disappointment as a signal, each loss as a preparation for greater gain. The emotionally enslaved man asks, "Why me?" The emotionally masterful man asks, "What must I do next?" This distinction alone separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Now, focus on accurate thinking. Accurate thinking is the art of perceiving facts as they exist, uncolored by emotion, prejudice, or assumption. The mind that succumbs to rumor, to resentment, to fleeting excitement becomes a tool of others' design. The mind that sees reality, with clarity, detachment, and precision, becomes an instrument of creation. Wealth, influence, and opportunity are always rooted in reality, never in fantasy. By mastering emotional detachment, your decisions are grounded in truth, not distorted by fear or desire. This is the essence of power. A mind aligned with reality, immune to the distortions of emotional chaos. Pause for a moment and imagine the mind as a fortress. Every uncontrolled thought is a breach in your walls. Every impulsive reaction is an intruder that undermines your authority. Emotional detachment, discipline, and deliberate thought are the battlements, the sentries, and the gates. With them, your inner world becomes impenetrable. Without them, you are exposed, vulnerable, and perpetually at the mercy of circumstance. History's great men, Napoleon, Rockefeller, Edison, and Washington, did not conquer by chance. They conquered by cultivating internal fortresses of clarity, calm, and unwavering purpose. Consider the law of personal initiative: to act without waiting for permission, to create opportunities rather than beg for them, is the hallmark of the emotionally detached and disciplined mind. When your inner world is under command, you do not rely on external validation, approval, or encouragement. You move with authority. You seize that which aligns with your purpose. You act decisively, while others hesitate, doubt, or debate. Personal initiative is the engine of achievement, and it is fueled by emotional mastery. Without it, knowledge, talent, and ambition are squandered. With it, obstacles are transformed into avenues, challenges into catalysts, and competition into irrelevant noise. Now, let us explore the silent power of patience. The undisciplined mind craves immediate results. It reacts, it flares, it overextends. But patience, born of detachment, is not inaction. It is deliberate observation, strategic positioning, and the cultivation of readiness for the precise moment to act. Patience is the companion of accurate thought, the ally of initiative, and the shield against impulsive loss. By mastering patience, the master of the inner world ensures that every action is precise, every decision is optimal, and every outcome is maximized. Examine, too, the principle of mental rehearsal. The mind, disciplined and detached, has the capacity to simulate, to envision, and to practice outcomes before they manifest. Every great leader, inventor, and entrepreneur engages in this silent rehearsal. They see the battlefield, the marketplace, or the enterprise clearly in the mind's eye. They encounter obstacles, calculate solutions, and refine strategies all before external engagement. This is the power of the inner world, to create reality by commanding thought before circumstance commands you. Let us not forget the essential role of self-discipline in thought, speech, and action. Words, when unbridled, become weapons of chaos. Actions, when impulsive, become mistakes. Thoughts, when uncontrolled, become prisons. Discipline aligns all three. It makes the mind a conductor of purpose, the tongue a messenger of clarity, and the hand an executor of strategy. The man without self-discipline is perpetually reactive, a storm-tossed vessel on the seas of circumstance. The disciplined man is a captain of infinite potential, steering toward destiny with unwavering precision. I must impress upon you the importance of reducing dependency on external approval. The man enslaved by recognition, praise, or applause is imprisoned by his own vanity. He acts not from principle, not from purpose, but from desire for validation. The emotionally masterful individual acts from purpose alone, guided by clarity of mind, not by the fleeting moods of society. Approval is fleeting. Self-command is eternal. Let this be your creed. You answer to your purpose and to no other. And now, the final pillar, the unyielding focus on wealth consciousness. To activate the hidden money frequency is to perceive opportunity in every moment, to see abundance where others see scarcity, to convert thought into value with deliberate precision. This is not mere wishful thinking. It is applied intelligence, disciplined strategy, and the emotional detachment to make decisions without fear, hesitation, or envy. Wealth, when approached from this elevated plane, is not a pursuit. It is a consequence, inevitable, automatic, and aligned with universal principles. You see, the transformation of your inner world into a fortress of mastery is not optional. It is the prerequisite to commanding the outer world. Every successful man, every influential woman, every pioneer of industry began by conquering themselves. They faced their fears, disciplined their minds, detached from distraction, and directed every thought, emotion, and action toward one definite aim. This is the law. Master the self, and the world bends to your mastery. So I call upon you now to awaken, commit to the discipline of thought, commit to the mastery of emotion, commit to the clarity of purpose that will make indecision impossible and mediocrity irrelevant. The hidden money frequency, the source of unstoppable wealth, is not secret, it is principle. It is the principle of thought, of detachment, of discipline, of initiative, and of relentless action. Activate it within yourself, and the world will respond. Hesitate, and you forfeit what is rightfully within your grasp. Rise, then, to your destiny. Let no fear, no desire, no external chaos sway you from your path. Command your mind, master your emotions, act with purpose, and the universe will obey. Success is not given, it is taken by those who are willing to master the inner world before confronting the outer. Be among them. Be deliberate. Be disciplined. Be unstoppable. Consider, then, the power of mastery over reaction. Every man and woman you encounter in this world is a mirror, reflecting not only your own inner state, but the vulnerabilities of those around you. The undisciplined individual reacts impulsively to praise, criticism, or provocation. A careless word becomes a wound. A slight becomes a tempest. But the disciplined mind, the emotionally detached mind, pauses. It observes. It calculates. It responds with precision, never from agitation, never from impulse. The difference is monumental. To respond deliberately is to impose order upon chaos. To react is to surrender control, to hand over the reins of your destiny to external circumstance. Let this truth be inscribed upon your consciousness. Your response is your power. Your reaction is your prison. Let us examine the law of mental neutrality. To be neutral is not to be passive. It is to remain unshaken by external provocations, to view events as they are, devoid of emotional coloration. The man who is neutral in thought sees opportunity in adversity, stability in chaos, clarity in confusion. Every fortune in history, from the empire builders of Rome to the industrial titans of the modern age, was constructed upon this foundation. Their genius was not merely intelligence, it was the ability to remain detached while others panicked, to act while others hesitated, to think clearly while others floundered in the fog of emotion. This is the power you must cultivate, a mind that is serene in the storm, unwavering in the face of provocation, deliberate in the midst of chaos. Now, reflect upon the principle of deliberate thought first. Every action begins as a thought. Every success, every invention, every empire was first imagined in the mind of its creator. Yet most men allow thoughts to wander aimlessly, to be dictated by fear, desire, or habit. They act without plan, react without calculation, and wonder why life treats them as it does. You, however, must commit to the discipline of thought. You must visualize outcomes, rehearse strategies, and engage the mind as the architect of your reality. Thoughts are the seeds of destiny. Plant them carefully. Cultivate them relentlessly. Guard them with vigilance. Consider also the silent, unseen power of self-suggestion. The mind is highly receptive to repeated commands, whispered continuously through deliberate affirmation. The man who tells himself, "I am calm, I am decisive, I am wealthy beyond measure," begins to align every fiber of his being to that truth. Doubt, fear, and distraction shrink before the relentless repetition of disciplined thought. The mind, when commanded, becomes a magnet for opportunity. Fortune, influence, and achievement are drawn not by chance, but by the concentrated, unwavering suggestion of purpose-filled thought. Turn your attention to emotional neutrality in business and relationship. Consider the great negotiators of history, dispassionate, observant, calculating. When others allowed anger, envy, or desire to dictate their moves, fortunes were lost. When emotions were mastered, decisions were optimized, alliances strengthened, and outcomes maximized. The lesson is simple. Every interaction in life is a field of opportunity. Reacting from passion or impulse diminishes that opportunity. Responding with calm detachment enhances it. Those who understand this principal command influence effortlessly. Those who ignore it are swept away like leaves in the wind. Now contemplate the principle of focus upon a definite purpose. A mind divided among competing desires, anxieties, and distractions is powerless. The human will, however, when directed toward a single, definite objective, becomes irresistible. Carnegie, Ford, and Rockefeller did not wander through life seeking incidental gains. They pursued a clearly defined objective with relentless discipline, every thought and action aligned to that end. The The mind that has mastered detachment, discipline, and clarity of purpose cannot be deflected. It bends the world to its aim with precision and inevitability. Consider, too, the principle of delayed gratification. The undisciplined man seeks instant reward, fleeing from discomfort, chasing fleeting pleasure. The master, however, understands that true success requires investment of time, energy, and emotion into ventures that may not yield immediate return. Emotional detachment allows one to endure short-term discomfort for long-term gain. Discipline allows one to defer indulgence, to focus on what matters most. Patience, fueled by detachment and clarity, magnifies opportunity and multiplies achievement. Reflect upon the principle of mental rehearsal under pressure. In the mind of the great leader, every crisis, every negotiation, every obstacle is anticipated and rehearsed before it occurs. This preparation is not mere fantasy, it is deliberate training of the subconscious mind. The emotionally detached mind does not panic when reality arrives. It moves with the confidence of one who has already encountered, assessed, and mastered the challenge. Fortune favors not the hasty, but the prepared. Destiny rewards not the reactive, but the deliberate. And let us not underestimate the transformative power of gratitude coupled with detachment. A mind that is grateful for what it possesses, yet detached from the desire to possess more at the cost of rational thought, operates from strength. Gratitude tempers ego, tempers anxiety, and clarifies perception. Detachment removes bias, impulsivity, and emotional distortion. Together they produce clarity of purpose, strategic vision, and the calm decisiveness that is the hallmark of every individual who has achieved lasting success. Now, focus on the orchestration of all principles into daily practice. Discipline is not theoretical. Detachment is not abstract. Mastery occurs in repeated, deliberate action. Begin each day with clarity of purpose. Engage the mind in deliberate thought, visualization, and self-suggestion. Observe events without attachment or distraction. Act decisively where action is required. Pause deliberately where reflection is warranted. Evaluate outcomes with neutrality, adjusting strategy without regret or complaint. This is the daily regimen of the mentally disciplined, emotionally detached individual. Finally, internalize this truth. Success is not found in circumstance, chance, or inherited advantage. It is created in the inner world of the mind. If your thoughts are disciplined, your emotions mastered, and your purpose definite, the outer world will conform to your command. If you allow fear, impulse, or distraction to govern you, the outer world will dominate your life and every opportunity will slip through your grasp. I urge you then to seize this moment. Commit to mental mastery. Cultivate emotional detachment. Align every thought, word, and action with your definite purpose. Fortify your inner world as a fortress of clarity, discipline, and calm. Engage opportunity deliberately. Act with precision and respond to life with unwavering sovereignty over your mind. This is the secret that separates the chosen few from the masses, the ability to command oneself before attempting to command fortune, the ability to master thought before attempting to influence the world, the ability to remain calm, decisive, and purposeful in every circumstance. Those who embrace this truth unlock not only wealth, but influence, power, and lasting achievement. Those who do not remain trapped in the cycle of reaction, frustration, and mediocrity. Rise now then. Step into the arena of life armed with mental discipline, emotional detachment, and unwavering purpose. Command your inner world, and the outer world will yield. Success is not a matter of chance, it is a matter of choice. Choose mastery. Choose discipline. Choose to be unstoppable. Activate the hidden power within you, and watch as your destiny unfolds with precision, inevitability, and majesty. Listen carefully, for what I am about to convey is not mere advice. It is the key to unlocking the dormant, immeasurable power within you. The mind, when disciplined, becomes an engine of relentless achievement. The emotions, when mastered, become the invisible steering wheel that guides your every decision toward prosperity and influence. The individual who understands this truth does not wait for opportunity to knock, he creates it. He does not allow the tides of circumstance to determine his course, he commands them. and he does not yield to the fleeting whispers of fear, doubt, or desire. He transcends them. Begin by recognizing the invisible chains that bind most men and women: emotional reactivity, mental chaos, and indecisiveness. Observe the world around you, and you will see them. Those who lash out when criticized, who tremble when faced with uncertainty, who grasp at transient pleasures while ignoring the imperatives of their own destiny. These are the untrained minds, the undisciplined spirits, the lost navigators of life. They are not lacking in potential, they are lacking in control. And control, my friend, begins not in wealth, not in circumstance, not in education, but in the mind. Consider the law of cause and effect, immutable in its authority. Every action produces a reaction. Every thought produces a consequence. If you allow emotions to govern your actions, you forfeit your power. You become a leaf in the storm, tossed by every wind of circumstance, subject to every external influence, unable to direct your life according to your own design. But if you command your thoughts, if you discipline your mind, if you master your emotions, you command your future. You become the architect of your destiny, the craftsman of your fortune, the captain of your fate. The first step in this transformation is absolute self-awareness. Begin by observing your reactions to the world. Note the impulses that rise within you, the irritation at a careless word, the jealousy at another's success, the frustration at delays and obstacles. Do not suppress these reactions. Do not pretend they do not exist. Recognize them. Analyze them. Understand their source. The undisciplined mind reacts unconsciously. The disciplined mind observes consciously. Awareness is the first act of mastery. Without it, there can be no progress, no control, no purpose. Next, cultivate emotional detachment, not indifference. Emotional detachment does not mean the absence of feeling. It means freedom from being driven by feeling. It is the ability to remain calm in the storm, to think clearly in the chaos, to act with precision when others falter and panic. Consider the generals of history, those whose names endure in the annals of time. Did they act from impulse? Did they allow rage, fear, or envy to dictate their decisions? Never. They observed, calculated, and executed with a clarity born of detachment. Their emotions served them, they did not enslave them. This is the art you must practice. Emotion as tool, not master. Mind as command center, not servant. Embrace mental discipline as a daily practice. Every day, your mind is bombarded with stimuli, news, opinions, distractions, and trivialities. The ordinary individual allows these to dictate his mood, his priorities, and his actions. The extraordinary individual, the one who will achieve unstoppable success, filters these inputs with deliberate precision. He chooses what to consider, what to ignore, what to act upon, and what to let pass. He does not react, he responds. This is the difference between mediocrity and mastery, between failure and triumph, between a life of circumstance and a life of design. Delve deeply into the principle of autosuggestion, for it is among the most potent tools in your arsenal. The mind is highly suggestible. Thoughts repeated, visualized, and reinforced shape perception, habit, and destiny. Speak to yourself with the authority of truth. I am calm, I am disciplined, I am focused, I am powerful. Repeat these words daily until they are no longer words but truths embedded in your very being. Your subconscious mind accepts no argument. It obeys only repetition, clarity, and conviction. Command it well, and it will marshal every resource of your being toward your defined purpose. Recognize the value of precise purpose. A mind undirected is like a ship without a rudder, tossed by every wave and wind. But a mind with definiteness of purpose is a weapon of inevitability. Every thought, every action, every decision is aligned to a clear, compelling objective. The great industrialists, the legendary leaders, the titans of commerce, they did not drift aimlessly. They had a singular vision, and they bent every resource, every effort, every ounce of energy toward that vision. The mind without purpose is weak. The mind with purpose is unstoppable. Understand as well the principle of calculated patience. Emotional discipline allows one to defer gratification. The undisciplined chase immediate pleasure, yielding ephemeral rewards and long-term regret. The disciplined understand the strategic value of time, the compounding power of effort, and the exponential effect of deliberate investment. By mastering your inner state, by restraining impulse, by acting with foresight, you position yourself to seize opportunities that others will never perceive, much less grasp. Embrace accurate thinking, the ability to separate fact from opinion, reality from assumption, opportunity from distraction. So many falter because they accept the narratives of the uninformed, the loud, or the careless. The disciplined mind discerns truth through observation, analysis, and evidence. It does not speculate blindly. It does not follow blindly. It acts based on clarity. And in this clarity lies the power to influence, to negotiate, to command, and to achieve. Now, envision the power of controlled initiative. Opportunity favors those who act, but action without discipline is reckless. Action without clarity is dangerous. The emotionally detached, mentally disciplined individual observes, plans, and then strikes decisively. He acts from preparation, not impulse. He moves from knowledge, not ignorance. This is the engine of achievement: measured, precise, relentless initiative. The world bows to those who master this principle. As you move forward, practice strategic detachment from outcome. Attachment to a specific result can cloud judgment, provoke panic, and generate unnecessary anxiety. The disciplined mind acts with intent, with effort, with focus, but remains unshaken by temporary setbacks. Victory is pursued, not demanded. Fortune is courted, not cajoled. In every engagement, in every endeavor, detach from fear of failure and the need for approval, and your decisions will be guided solely by reason, clarity, and principle. Finally, integrate the philosophy of constant self-improvement. The mind is a muscle. The spirit is a craft. Every day presents an opportunity to refine your thinking, to strengthen your emotional control, and to elevate your purpose. Read, reflect, and reason. Surround yourself with those who elevate your standards. Reject distraction, triviality, and weakness. You are sculpting yourself chisel stroke by chisel stroke toward greatness. And remember this: every individual who achieved monumental success did so through relentless self-mastery, unwavering discipline, and absolute control of the inner world. Rise now, then, into the commanding power of your mind. Recognize that emotional detachment is your fortress, mental discipline your sword, and a definite purpose your guiding star. The world will attempt to pull you into chaos, to provoke reaction, to tempt indulgence, but you are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are the master of thought, the architect of destiny, the commander of your inner world. Move forward with clarity, act with precision, respond with calm authority. Let no impulse rule you. Let no distraction sway you. Let no emotion dictate your course. Fortune, influence, power, they are drawn to the mind that is sovereign, disciplined, and purposeful. They flee from chaos, hesitation, and impulsivity. Your destiny awaits. Command it, shape it, master it. For only those who have disciplined their mind, mastered their emotions, and defined their purpose can truly unlock the limitless wealth, influence, and achievement that life reserves for the few who dare to control themselves before attempting to control the world. The hidden frequency of success hums quietly, invisibly, but only the disciplined, detached, and purposeful can hear it, and only the decisive can act upon it. Rise. Master yourself, dominate your thoughts, control your emotions, align every action with purpose, and as you do, watch the world bend to your will. This is not advice. This is not suggestion. This is law. This is the path of those who achieve the impossible, who rise above mediocrity, and who claim a destiny of power, wealth, and influence. Step into it, and nothing shall ever again hold you back. Now understand this. The mind that is mastered is the mind that conquers. It is not merely a vessel for thought, but the very engine that moves destiny itself. Let me remind you, every great achievement in human history, every empire built, every fortune accumulated, every revolution of thought that changed the world was first born within the disciplined, detached mind of one individual who refused to be a slave to emotion, circumstance, or the fleeting opinions of others. Alexander commanded armies because he controlled fear within his chest before he ever drew a sword. Franklin accumulated wealth and influence because he disciplined his mind to see opportunity where others saw chaos. Carnegie created industrial empires because he detached from the opinions of detractors, the pressures of society, and the immediate gratification of comfort. Ask yourself, do you act or do you react? Do you respond to circumstance with calm authority? Or are you tossed like a leaf in the wind, your every step dictated by impulse, every decision poisoned by fear? Emotional detachment is not weakness. It is power. It is the supreme tool that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. It allows you to observe without attachment, to plan without distraction, to act without hesitation. When mastered, it is the invisible force that bends reality toward your desire. Let us consider the law of mental neutrality, a principle so essential that it underlies all success yet is ignored by the multitudes. To remain neutral in the face of provocation, to observe the chaos without panic, to consider all variables without partiality, this is mastery. For every insult, every setback, every betrayal, every obstacle, these are not permanent shackles. They are temporary conditions that can be observed, analyzed, and used. The undisciplined mind sees only offense. The disciplined mind sees opportunity. The undisciplined mind reacts in anger. The disciplined mind responds with strategy. The undisciplined mind yields to circumstance. The disciplined mind commands it. Now take heed of the principle of thought first. Every success begins with a thought, an idea, a vision, a spark within the inner chamber of the mind. But a thought alone is powerless without discipline, without focus, without emotional neutrality. When a thought is nurtured by detachment and sharpened by mental discipline, it transforms into action, and from action emerges result. Consider Edison, who saw in failure not a defeat but a data point, a lesson, an element of mastery. He detached himself from disappointment, disciplined his mind, and persisted until the electric light illuminated the world. This is your blueprint. Idea, discipline, detachment, action, result. Let us move now into the power of calmness, a skill as undervalued as it is potent. Calmness is not laziness. Calmness is not passivity. Calmness is the controlled application of energy. It is the mind poised like a bowstring, ready to release power with precision. When chaos erupts, when those around you panic, when emotions flare and clarity fades, calmness allows you to see the invisible paths of advantage. Napoleon himself, in the heat of battle, never allowed the tumult to cloud his judgment. His mind, disciplined and detached, calculated every move while others stumbled in fear. Calmness is your lever. Master it and you can move the world. You must also recognize the subtle power of response over reaction. Reaction is automatic, emotional, often destructive. Response is deliberate, conscious, and strategic. When someone provokes you, when the world challenges you, when adversity strikes, remember, reaction is surrender. Response is mastery. The successful person observes the stimulus, evaluates the options, aligns with purpose, and then acts with precision. This distinction is the line between mediocrity and greatness, between wealth squandered and wealth accumulated, between a life of noise and a life of command. Now, integrate the habit of relentless self-assessment. The disciplined mind constantly questions, are my thoughts aligned with my purpose? Are my emotions serving me or enslaving me? Are my actions producing results or am I drifting in distraction? Honest, brutal self-assessment is the forge in which character is strengthened and mental discipline is tempered. Without it, detachment is shallow, discipline is hollow, and success remains elusive. Understand, too, the role of perseverance in mastery. Emotional detachment and mental discipline are not achieved overnight. They require constant vigilance. The mind is like a garden. If left untended, weeds of impulse, distraction, and fear will overrun it. You must prune these weeds daily, fertilize the soil of purpose, water it with reflection, and cultivate the seeds of thought that will blossom into extraordinary action. Perseverance is not endurance alone. It is the consistent, conscious application of all these principles over time until mastery becomes instinct. Consider the principle of selective association. The people you allow into your sphere, the ideas you entertain, the conversations you indulge, these all shape your inner state. Detach from those who fuel emotional chaos. Align yourself with those who elevate thought, who demand discipline, who embody calm, who act with deliberate purpose. The environment is the mirror of the mind. Curate it meticulously, for your inner world will inevitably be reflected in your outer results. Now, embrace the law of definite purpose in action. A mind disciplined and detached is powerful, but without purpose, it is like a sword without a target, a river without a course, a ship without a rudder. Define your objective with clarity so absolute that it leaves no room for doubt. Align every thought, every decision, every effort with this objective. Let no distraction divert you. Let no fear delay you. Let no temptation weaken you. Purpose, reinforced by detachment and discipline, is the unstoppable engine of achievement. As we draw deeper into this understanding, recognize the principle of compounding mastery. Mastery is not singular, it is cumulative. Every moment you exercise detachment, every decision guided by calmness, every thought aligned with purpose adds to your mental capital. Just as wealth compounds through intelligent investment, so too does power compound through disciplined practice. Each day becomes an investment in the unstoppable force of your own development. Finally, internalize this eternal truth. Your mind is your only true capital, and your control over it is the single greatest source of wealth, influence, and destiny. Fortune does not reward impulsive emotion nor circumstance. It rewards preparation, observation, discipline, detachment, and decisive action. Control your mind, and you control the currents of reality itself. Yield your mind to chaos, and you are forever adrift, at the mercy of forces you cannot command. Rise now, and claim the command that has always been yours. Detach, discipline, define, act. Harness every principle I have laid before you. The law of mental neutrality, the power of calmness, the principle of thought first, accurate thinking, autosuggestion, perseverance, selective association, and compounding mastery. Integrate them into every fiber of your being until they become instinct, until they become the natural state of your consciousness. Success is not chance. Success is law, and the law begins within the mind. You have the ability to master your emotions, to discipline your thoughts, to align your actions with purpose, and to achieve unstoppable results. Only those who act decisively, who observe relentlessly, and who command themselves first can truly claim the rewards of life. This is your time. This is your moment. This is the unveiling of the secret frequency of wealth, power, and achievement. Detach from distraction. Discipline your mind. Define your purpose. Act relentlessly. And in doing so, become the individual who not only survives but dominates, the individual whose mind commands reality, whose life manifests destiny, whose achievements echo through time. For those who follow this path, fortune does not merely appear, it is drawn to them, inevitable, irresistible, and absolute. The hidden frequency hums only for the disciplined, the detached, the purposeful. Listen, align, and act. The world will yield. Circumstances will bend, fortune will obey, but only for the mind that has mastered itself. Understand this. Mastery over your inner world is the single greatest lever you can pull to achieve unstoppable success. If you allow anger, fear, or desire to dictate your actions, you surrender your power. But if you command your thoughts, you command your future. Every great achievement, every fortune, every monumental success begins within the mind, clear, disciplined, and unwavering. Definiteness of purpose is your foundation. Without a clearly defined objective, your mind is a ship adrift on a stormy sea. Clarify your purpose, ingrain it into your consciousness daily, and let it direct every thought, every action, every decision. Self-discipline is the engine. Resist distractions, deny impulses, strengthen your mind until it cannot be swayed by circumstance or emotion. Autosuggestion is the alchemy of thought. Speak to yourself with authority. I command my mind. I convert challenge into victory. I control my destiny. Emotional detachment does not mean apathy. It means separating response from reaction, acting decisively without being enslaved by turmoil. Master this, and fear, anger, and doubt hold no dominion over you. The law of mental neutrality is your ally. Observe events without immediate judgment, without rash reaction. In calm clarity, insight is sharp, strategy precise, opportunity apparent. The principle of thought first reminds you, all achievements start as ideas. Direct your thoughts deliberately, nurture them daily, and watch as they materialize into reality. Personal initiative turns mastery into action. A disciplined, detached mind that hesitates is powerless. Act decisively, guided by purpose, and you convert preparation into tangible success. Emotional control breeds influence. Calmness commands respect. Those who govern themselves attract wealth, opportunity, and authority effortlessly. Remember this: if you allow emotions to govern your actions, you forfeit your power. But if you command your thoughts, you command your future. Rise. Take command of your mind. Govern your emotions. Act with clarity. Your inner world is the citadel from which all triumphs flow. Fortify it, rule it, and claim the success that is your destiny.